This is everything I ate in a day, traveling from LA to Oahu, Hawaii. Got to LAX at 6 a.m. and watched the sunrise while drinking my $10 water. I fell asleep before takeoff, but woke up just in time for snacks. Tilda has the best snacks. I opted for Cheez-Its and Biscoff cookies, which paired nicely with this watery black coffee. 6 hours later, I enjoyed a stunning landing on Oahu. My first stop was locally owned coffee shop, the Miro Kaimuki. They're also a natural wine shop, and their pastries are by very talented James Beard semi-finalist Hannah Kwan. This pandan pastel de nata and blueberry cheese Danish were both a 1 million out of 10. Then I picked up some malasadas from the original Leonard's, open since 1952. I will make a full review video of these fried to order delights, but spoiler, they were delicious. My favorite flavors were the lihing and haupia. For dinner, I had traditional Hawaiian food for the first time at Helena's Hawaiian Food. I had lomi salmon, fried butterfish collar, haupia, mac salad, poi, and my new obsession, squid luau. Full video soon, as this meal actually changed my life. I texted my stepdad, who is from Maui, and he was so stoked that I loved the food. I waited over an hour in line for dessert at Island Vintage Shave Ice, and unfortunately, it was worth it. I got their heavenly lilikoi, which tasted like authentic passion fruit juice with strawberries, soft mochi, and lilikoi popping boba. Aloha po. I am in Honolulu, and I have pastries from one of the best bakeries on Oahu. These are from Breadshop. The owner is from Oahu, but has worked in Michelin star restaurants all over the world. First, we have their Daegu spinach manchego croissant. I finished baking these just before I picked them up, so it is incredibly fresh. The pastry is delicate and flaky, the spinach is tender, nutty, pungent, slightly sweet manchego against the spicy, savory daegu. This is the best savory pastry I've had in my entire life, 1 billion out of 10. Next we have their sourdough chocolate chip cookie. This has such a unique flavor profile, I'm still processing. Prominent sourdough notes paired with this very dark chocolate and lots of sea salt make this almost a savory cookie. Crunchy and a bit chewy on the outside, but soft and gooey on the inside. Delicious and completely unique. 10 out of 10. Next we have a guava vanilla bean Danish. It's truly unreal. If you've never had fresh, perfectly ripe guava before, it tastes like a combination of strawberries and a juicy pear, paired with this smooth, aromatic, vanilla bean-flecked cream and an expertly executed laminated pastry. 1 million out of 10. Last, we have a mango cheesecake brioche tart. First thing I tasted upon biting into this were the ripe, ultra-flavorful mangoes in the compote. The star of the show here is this brioche. It is so soft, it almost eats like a cake. I knew these were going to be good. I didn't know they were going to be this good. I tried traditional Hawaiian food for the first time on Oahu, Hawaii, and this is how it went. Helena's in Kalihi has been open since 1946 and serves Hawaiian food. I'm talking native ingredients and cooking methods of indigenous Hawaiian people. This is different from local Hawaiian food, which is a fusion of all of the cultures who moved here. This fried butterfish collar, also known as black cod, was the most tender, juicy piece of fish I have ever eaten. Biting into the crunchy bones threw me off at first, but they are completely safe to eat. This paired wonderfully with the lomi salmon, which reminded me of pico de gallo, but with savory salt-cured salmon, and creamy classic macaroni salad. Now, I've heard that poi is an acquired taste, and on its own it tasted bland but sour with a thick, starchy consistency. But this type of fermented poi, which is mashed taro, is rarely eaten on its own. It's an accompaniment to be mixed with other dishes. Speaking of, squid luau is now one of my favorite dishes of all time. This earthy, deeply savory stew is made with coconut milk, squid, and luau, or taro leaves. Yes, they say taro in Hawaii, not taro. Haupia is a sweet, creamy coconut pudding meant to be eaten at the end of a meal as a palate cleanser with a side of Hawaiian sea salt for dipping. Helena's is a must-try on Oahu. I heard the 7-Elevens on Hawaii are as good as the ones in Japan. I am on Oahu, and I got some Hawaii-specific snacks to try. I'll start with this strawberry mochi donut. This is better than I expected. The donut doesn't have much of a mochi texture, it is quite dry, but I love this thick, strawberry milk-flavored white chocolate icing on top. 7 out of 10. Next we have an oven-roasted salmon onigiri. They don't wrap it like they do in Japan, so the nori is kind of soggy. It's honestly just okay. It would be so much better if the nori was crispy. There's not much salmon and it is quite fishy, and the rice just is not fresh. 4 out of 10. Next we'll try their lihing mui. This is a popular treat on Hawaii. It's salted plum. I wasn't expecting there to be little pits. I love the flavor of lihing. It's sour, it's sweet, it's salty. Closest flavor profile I can liken it to is tahine. Flavor for me is a 1 million out of 10. The plums themselves are a little dried out. I still really like these though, 9 out of 10. Let's try a fruit sando. This shokupan is hefty. This is far exceeding my expectations. The shokupan is fresh and fluffy. Whipped cream is high quality. It's not too sweet. The fruit is juicy and ripe. 10 out of 10. Next we have pineapple coconut ball. Don't really know what to expect here. Tasty. It's just chewy desiccated coconut with a hint of artificial pineapple. 8 out of 10. Next we have a strawberry parfait with mochi. This sounds so good to me. I don't taste any strawberry, but it's like a really high quality panna cotta. Mochi. It's filled with red bean and it's so creamy and so soft. This is perfect. Let's try the green. It's the same, also filled with red bean, just a different color. This is incredibly good. 1 million out of 10. The best tasting menu on Oahu, Hawaii is a 6-course, $125 per person French-inspired meal, but with Japanese flavors and techniques. Miro Kaimuki is helmed by Honolulu native Chris Kajioka, who has worked at several Michelin star restaurants on the mainland. I took my beautiful friend MJ here for her birthday, and she said it was one of the best meals of her life. She opted for their refreshingly creative spirit-free beverage pairing, which is $50 per person. I opted for their premium wine pairing, which was only $75 and included all of this. Every bite of food was a perfect 10. We started out with a variety of snacks, our favorite being the crisp buttermilk brioche toasts topped with Hokkaido uni and ahi. We had buttery salmon sashimi and aromatic shiso gremolata with nectarines and tomatoes, truffle-scented crab chawanmushi that was quite light on the palate, a warm, pillowy soft loaf of sourdough, this braised black cod with taco, aka octopus, and Hokkaido scallops with parmesan foam and crisp rainbow chard were simple but expertly executed. Our favorite dish overall, though, was dessert, a soursop mousse in tangy lime leaf gel topped with juicy pineapple compote and white chocolate crumbles, plus birthday madeleines for this perfect angel. If Michelin came to Hawaii, Miro Kaimuki would certainly have a star. I ate malasadas at the most famous bakery in Honolulu. This is my honest review of Leonard's, open since 1952. The malasada was brought to Hawaii by Portuguese immigrants in the late 1800s, but Leonard Rego was the first to make it widely available. At Leonard, his staff were skeptical, thinking the dessert might be too ethnic. But to this day, Leonard's grandmother's recipe is still wildly popular. Be prepared to wait. These malasadas are fried to order. Mine were still hot after walking to the beach. If you are unfamiliar, malasadas are yeasted, deep-fried pastries, like a donut but without the hole. I had to start with the original, which is simply rolled in sugar. The milky, eggy dough was pillowy soft, with a delicate sugary crunch on the exterior. Strong 10 out of 10, but I liked the tangy lihing-coated rendition even more. In the 90s, Leonard's began offering custard-filled malasadas with popular local flavors. For me, the guava filling was too starchy, and the macadamia nut tasted artificial, but I loved the creamy haupia and decadent dough bash, which is similar to chocolate pudding. I've heard there are better malasadas on Oahu, but Leonard's is popular for a reason, and certainly worth a visit. I ate lunch at one of the only native Hawaiian-owned restaurants on Oahu, Hawaii. Waiahole Poi Factory operated for 70 years exclusively as a poi factory, then an art gallery, and since 2009, an authentic Hawaiian and hand-pounded poi restaurant. They serve indigenous dishes like kalua pig, lau lau, kulolo, and of course poi, which is cooked mashed taro. I opted for their squid luau plate, which comes with lomi salmon, haupia, and your choice of poi or rice. I had to try their poi, which was smooth, starchy, and subtly sweet, completely different from the fermented poi I've tried. It was a perfect complement to the coconut-scented squid luau. A deeply savory stew made from taro leaves. Wash that down with mamaki tea, which is a native Hawaiian plant. Lomi salmon reminds me of pico de gallo, but with salt-cured salmon. And haupia is a naturally sweet coconut pudding that makes for a great palate cleanser before dessert. You will be getting dessert here. They are famous for their Sweet Lady of Waiahole, which features warm kulolo, a fudge-like pudding made from taro that tasted like caramel beneath the ultra-creamy haupia ice cream. We also tried their Tahitian Sweet Lady, which includes warm banana poi, a traditional Polynesian fruit pudding. Waiahole Poi Factory aims to conserve and share Hawaiian culture through food and is an absolute must-try on Oahu. I am on Oahu, Hawaii, and I have pies from Ted's Bakery. They're located on the North Shore and have been open since 1987. Start with their most famous flavor, which is their chocolate haupia cream pie. Friends and I did already try this yesterday, but I'm so excited to eat it again. It's one of the best pies I've ever had. Layers of semi-sweet chocolate cream, smooth, richly flavored haupia, and fresh whipped cream on top. Crust is buttery and shortbread-like. It's 1 million out of 10. Next, let's try their macadamia nut cream pie. Look at that texture. I believe these all have the same shortbread crust, but this one has a thicker custard-like cream. Not sure you can tell, but there are whole macadamia nuts in there. Perfect 10 out of 10. Next we have their lilikoi cheese pie. Look at those stunning layers. I love how they incorporated cream cheese into this one. It has a light, fluffy, whipped texture. It pairs beautifully with the buttery crust and the fresh whipped cream, but I will say the lilikoi gel is lacking in flavor. Still very good, especially if you like cheesecake. 8 out of 10. Last we have their strawberry guava cream pie. Filling tastes like fresh cream custard with a hint of the ripest, juiciest strawberries. I'm not tasting any guava. Still a fantastic pie. I love that it's not too sweet. 9 out of 10. Favorite is definitely the chocolate haupia. I ate 3 shave ices in 3 days on Oahu, Hawaii. And here's my ranking from least to most favorite. And yes, in Hawaii they say shave ice, not shaved ice. Waiahole Shave Ice is a darling family-owned shop, open since 1978. My friend MJ's Waiahole Rainbow, which is strawberry, blue vanilla, and banana, topped with tangy Li Hing powder, was an 8 out of 10. But the mochi on my condensed milk rendition was too chewy. Also, the matcha was objectively inedible, and I love matcha. Island Vintage Shave Ice is a locally owned business with 5 locations. Be prepared to wait in a long line at the Waikiki shop. I opted for their heavenly lilikoi, which features soft, fluffy lilikoi and strawberry flavored snow, atop creamy frozen yogurt with soft mochi and popping boba that tasted like authentic lilikoi juice. 10 out of 10. My favorite overall, though, was the iconic Matsumoto Shave Ice on the North Shore. Opened in 1951 by couple Mamoru and Helen Matsumoto, Shave Ice is a riff on kakigori, a dessert introduced to Hawaii by Japanese immigrants. I went with the classic Matsumoto combo, lemon, pineapple, and coconut, and loved the nostalgic flavors of their house-made syrups, enhanced by a drizzle of condensed milk. Mahalo, and let me know where I should try next time. This is everywhere I ate in 3 days on Oahu, Hawaii, and I recommend saving this because there were almost no flops. For traditional Hawaiian food, which I think every visitor should try, I went to Helena's Hawaiian Food and Waiahole Poi Factory. For pastries, I went to Breadshop. Everything was a 10. The iconic Leonard's for malasadas. The patisserie for the best queen amon of my life. Good butter mochi too. And the Miro Kaimuki for pastries by Hana Kwan. Speaking of, I had by far the best coffee of my trip here. We liked Honolulu coffee as well. The very popular Kona coffee purveyors was just okay. For fine dining, we had an extraordinary 7-course tasting menu and beverage pairings at Miro Kaimuki. For casual dining, we loved the famous garlic shrimp from Giovanni's. Pro tip, go to the location inside H Mart. It's just as good and there's no line. I had an assortment of Hawaii-specific snacks from 7-Eleven. For poke, I went to Maguro Bros. Excellent quality, and their tuna is caught the same day. I was concerned that Howtree would be mid because it's on the beach, but we had a solid brunch here. Get the ube cinnamon roll. For shave ice, we went to Waiahole Shave Ice, Island Vintage, and of course Matsumoto's. And for sweet treats, the chocolate haupia pie from Ted's Bakery is a must try. And MJ's birthday cake was from Cake Works Hawaii. Aloha!